Merci beaucoup, Gilles. Et je veux saluer également Paul Desmarais Junior et Hélène Desmarais, qui sont aussi, il faut le dire, pour ce 15e anniversaire, beaucoup les inspirateurs de cette conférence qui a lieu sur une base annuelle. Mesdames, Messieurs les présidents, les secrétaires généraux, je veux saluer également le secrétaire général du Commonwealth qui nous honore de sa présence ici aujourd'hui, de l'OCDE. Monsieur le ministre des Finances également, Flaherty. Au Québec, on est toujours très heureux de voir le ministre des Finances fédérales. Et on est également très heureux que Monsieur le maire Tremblay soit avec nous. Monsieur Aziz, ex-premier ministre du Pakistan, qui nous honore de sa présence, ambassadeur du Canada. Il y a chez nous 4 ministres du gouvernement qui sont avec nous, Monsieur Bachand, Madame Veil, Madame James, Monsieur Arcan, les collègues de l'Assemblée nationale, Monsieur Bergman et Monsieur Dubourg et Madame Baudouin également, qui sont avec nous. Ladies and gentlemen and head table guests, this is always a special treat to celebrate the 15th anniversary of an organization. I guess we're at Gilles, we're at the special time where it's arrived at adolescence. And we all know what a 15-year-old means in our home and what they bring in terms of activities. And I guess it's symbolic that for this 15th anniversary we would be facing one of the most important challenges economically we've faced in a very long time, an unusual challenge. And 2009 will go down as a year certainly where there will be before and after. And not only is it the economic crisis that will take a great deal of our attention in 2009, if we add to that the Copenhagen conference that will be held at the end of December, here are 2 very important events that will, I believe, change the way we live and will change the rules of governance that countries and the private sector will live by. And so it's going to be a very exciting year, and it's a perfect fit for a conference that is an opportunity for us to reflect, to hear from men and women who have given a great deal of thought to some of these issues and can help us better understand where we are at and where we should be going. Mesdames et Messieurs, l'an dernier, au moment où j'ai eu l'occasion, le privilège de vous adresser la parole, je vous avais parlé d'un espace économique. Cette année, je veux simplement vous faire un rapport sur l'état d'avancement parce que nous avons fait beaucoup de chemin depuis la dernière année dans le développement d'un nouvel espace économique pour le Québec. Et encore une fois, le timing est très bon pour nous parce que nous allons, nous, comme gouvernement, dès demain, poser des gestes qui vont dans le sens de ce magnifique projet d'espace économique. So a year ago, when I had the privilege of speaking before this group, I spoke of what our vision was of creating a new economic space for Quebec and where we saw the future. And of course, this whole economic upheaval that we're experiencing has only reinforced, from our perspective, what we believe we should be doing. And I want to touch upon it briefly, if only to report where we were at. Last year, when we met, we were contemplating entering into negotiations with France on a very innovative agreement on labor mobility, where you're a doctor in France, a doctor in Quebec, engineer in France, and going all the way into the trades. Well, since the last October, President Sarkozy and our government signed an agreement, and we're actually implementing this groundbreaking agreement on labor mobility between France and Quebec. And we have actually signed 17 professions and trades, and have done. And in fact, a week ago, Kathleen Veil, my Minister of Justice, and myself actually signed an agreement between lawyers in France and Quebec for them to be able to practice in one place and the other. Now, isn't that exciting, knowing that we'll be able to have more lawyers? I mean, we are so delighted. Of course, the idea here is to, and it's not only professions, it's trades, whether it's a carpenter. I joked with our European friends saying to them, you know, this famous Polish plumber that seemed to cause so much grief in France, if you don't want him, we'll take him. And our objective is to complete this agreement by 2010 for every profession and trade between France and Quebec. And tomorrow in the National Assembly, we will be tabling legislation to implement this agreement. Le deuxième projet, c'était la négociation d'un accord, un partenariat entre l'Europe et le Canada. Un projet qui, aux yeux des Québécois, parle beaucoup et interpelle notre avenir. Et depuis le 6 mai dernier, le premier ministre Harper a lancé ces négociations avec l'Europe. Un accord, un partenariat qui nous permettra de créer une entente vraiment de nouvelle génération entre nous et l'Europe, qui va toucher aux questions de biens et services, un accord de libre-échange comme nous connaissons déjà, mais qui sera plus large encore, qui va à nouveau toucher aux questions de mobilité de main-d'œuvre. Parce que le Québec, comme le Canada, avec une population vieillissante, a besoin de main-d'œuvre. Nous avons besoin de cerveau, nous avons besoin de bras, nous avons besoin de cœur. Et une fois cette récession passée, très rapidement, nous devrons agir pour justement amener chez nous, au Québec et au Canada, des hommes et des femmes qui construiront le Québec et le Canada. Et le lancement de ces négociations, c'est un précédent qui permettra à l'Europe de poser les pieds en Amérique du Nord, sait-on jamais, peut-être pour créer une entente qui servirait de modèle à ce que pourrait devenir un accord transatlantique entre l'Europe et les États-Unis, peut-être un jour. D'ailleurs, pour ceux qui s'intéressent aux questions de sécurité, ce serait là un merveilleux projet, un rapprochement entre l'Europe et les États-Unis. Et quoi de mieux que de passer d'abord par le Canada, un pays qui partage beaucoup de valeurs avec son partenaire européen. Mais dans cette entente, il y a davantage. In this agreement, not only will it be about goods and services, we want an agreement that will allow us to have a partnership in the areas of university education, research, the environment, and culture. This, from our perspective, represents what globalization is about, not only about goods and services, but also about the mobility of men and women, and building capacity between our continents. This would allow us to build a knowledge-based economy and build on our strengths, and that strength is the ability and talents of our people. The third project is one, and by the way, on Canada-Europe, the time frame is 2 years to accomplish this negotiation. And I want to, Minister Flaherty, extend again our deep appreciation for the leadership that Prime Minister Harper demonstrated on this particular project. The third project is one for which we will also table legislation in the National Assembly of Quebec tomorrow, and that's a labour mobility agreement within all of Canada. Because one of the ironies, of course, of Canada is that from time to time we pursue these trade initiatives with our neighbours, whether it's the United States or Europe, and yet, within our own country, there are still too many obstacles. Alors, dès demain, à l'Assemblée nationale, nous allons également déposer un projet de loi pour encourager ou pour éliminer les obstacles à la mobilité de la main-d'œuvre. Il y a un autre projet magnifique, c'est celui du Plan Nord pour ouvrir le Nord québécois, où il y a des ressources minérales, des ressources énergétiques, où les Premières Nations et les Inuits qui occupent ce magnifique territoire vont travailler avec nous pour développer nos ressources. Developing Quebec's North is a great project. To give you an idea of what it means, the north of Quebec, beyond the 49th parallel, represents 1 million square kilometers. It's twice the size of France, with mineral, energy resources, and an extraordinary opportunity for us to develop this territory with our First Nations and the Inuit. And this is one of the projects that we have started with the announcement we made a few weeks ago, the construction of a hydroelectric dam on the north shore of Quebec. In total, both projects, the lines and the dam, is an $8 billion project. It's one of the most important infrastructure projects in the world this year, and one that speaks to our ability and willingness to develop clean and renewable energy that we want to share with our neighbors in the United States. There's a perfect alignment of the planets in regards to what the new administration is seeking in terms of new and renewable energies and our ability to be able to supply that as a very reliable partner.